Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. In today's video, I'm going to make sure that you don't make the same makeup mistake I did with your eye cream. It's pretty crazy what happened. I'm going to show you exactly what happened to my face when I was out for the day and I looked absolutely horrendous. Stay tuned so that I can share this with you too, so that you don't make that same mistake. Now, don't forget, I do have an online publication called Confessions of a Creative, which covers different topics such as self, entrepreneurship, mindset, fashion, and beauty. There are two subscription types. One is free, where you get access to occasional posts. The other is paid, which basically costs you around a coffee a month. That's it. And you get added subscriber perks, a special room where we can chat, and extra articles which are just for you. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. I'm on Instagram too, so come and say hi there too. Now let's head straight into this video. I know this looks a bit crazy at the moment because I have no makeup from here downwards. I've only got the top part of my face done. There's a reason for that, because I'm going to be showing you something at the bottom different on this side and different on this side. I really want you guys to learn from a mistake that I made recently with my makeup and my eye cream. I really wanted to share this because honestly, I had the most horrendous day when it came to my makeup, and I haven't had that for a very, very long time. And I guess I kind of am almost kicking myself as well, because I'm always the person who says that, you know, you should be really careful with the types of products you use. And I guess I was a little bit kind of, I wouldn't say naive, but I feel like kind of all my own personal advice went out the window that day. I don't know what was going on, and I just kind of didn't think before putting my makeup on. It's something that I know you guys would hate if you were out and your makeup ended up this way. It was just so bad. Let's get started. Now, with my skincare, I already have everything on other than my eye cream, and this is what I really want to share with you. I was giving my eye cream that I've been using for what feels like years a bit of a hard time. My Drunk Elephant C Tango multivitamin eye cream. I guess I was just probably getting a bit bored of it, in the sense that, oh, you know, by now I would be moving on to a new eye cream, or, you know, something different, and I should have known better. You know, this is where sometimes change isn't always good, and you need to appreciate what you do already have. We're only talking about makeup here, guys, so, you know, just makeup, I get that. But, you know, when it can really affect how you look and kind of put you through something that you're not used to going through, it can really kind of like just make you realize that, hold on, I really need to reevaluate the things that I use, you know, and be careful with what I actually buy as well. I was lucky in the sense that these products were sent to me, but, you know, I also have put myself in your shoes and think, you know, what if you went out and you spent all that money on these products and then it just didn't work for you? Now, please understand, I am not saying that these specific products do not work. I actually think they probably do, and I will continue using them, but not in the morning. I had actually switched over to a new eye serum and cream, and I was really interested in it because it was an eye serum and cream. This serum is a super anti-aging eye serum, very expensive, and this Sturm super anti-aging eye cream again is very, very expensive. Now, this is by Dr. Barbara Sturm, and I am, like I said, I'm still going to be using these products because I believe that they're going to be great, but we'll see, you know. And I am very straightforward with you when it comes to what works and what doesn't work. And I have to be honest, like, I still stand by the fact that there are certain things, whether people like it or not, they just don't work. And I'm talking about techniques that you use, you know. If you want your makeup to last long and you want your base, your foundation to stay put, setting powder is the answer. I don't care how many other kind of like new trends there are out, but ultimately setting powder will keep your makeup in place. It will keep your foundation lasting longer. All these other kind of like hacks and stuff that sometimes I see, you know, saying that, oh, you don't need setting powder or keep your makeup put without setting powder. I'm sorry, I just don't. Am I like the only one in the real world? Like, having put makeup on hundreds of faces, like, there's no way that foundation is going to last as long as if it would do if there was setting powder on top of that. So things like that, I'm very, very honest with you about what works and what doesn't. The mistake I made on this specific day, which I had a beach day, so I was outside all day, and I have done my makeup plenty of times before going to the beach. You know, if you watch my vlogs on my other channel, you know how much I love beach days. I love sitting by the pool, I love being outside, and I love sunbathing safely, but I love it, right? I have a technique. I have, you know, my makeup technique that I know my makeup doesn't go anywhere. Even if I'm sweating, right? I'll have the sweat. I might sweat, and I'll get in the pool, you know, but my makeup will stay put. It will not drip. I won't get the horrible lines on my face, and I won't get chunks of makeup coming off. Oh my God. This day that I went to the beach, and it was a really nice beach, by the way. It was Nobu by the beach at the Atlantis Royal. So really nice beach. And what did I do? I decided to use a new product and didn't even think about how it would help my makeup sit or how it wouldn't help my makeup sit. So like I said, I've been going on about the fact that this product hasn't run out. It still hasn't run out. I put it to the side and I thought, you know what? I don't want to wait for you to finish. I'm going to move straight in with my new eye cream. Thank God I didn't throw this away, right? Because I'm back with it during the daytime. So what I did is I used these two products, which are the Sturm Eye Serum, the Super Anti-Aging Serum, and the Sturm Anti-Aging Eye Cream. Now, one thing I have realized with using this, you really need to let this settle into the skin before you move in with your cream. So it's a little bit time consuming. Like, it's not a very kind of streamlined skincare routine in the sense that, you know, it's not quick. You know, if you've got the time, then great. I personally would not use this under makeup again, because what I experienced that day, guys, okay, my husband doesn't often, like, he will always tell me if something looks nice. If he likes the way my makeup's looking, he'll tell me it looks nice. He won't ever say, oh, it looks bad or it looks this, but he's very honest at the same time. If something's on my face or, like, you know, there's a smudge somewhere, or, you know, my eyeliner's come off somewhere, anything, it could be, I'm just making these random things up, but, you know, he will tell me. That day, I can't count how many times he commented. In a good way, because he knows I want to know. I've always drummed it into him. Let me know if something looks off. Let me know, right? And he was like, what is happening with your makeup, while we were sitting there? And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was just like, what are you talking about? And then I got the mirror and I was like, oh my God, my foundation, concealer, whatever you want to call it, right? It was just like, it's like it was disintegrating on my skin. It was so bizarre. So I got my sponge out. Luckily, I carry a few extra emergency bits with me, right? I got my little mini beauty blender out. I started dabbing it. Oh my God, it was just lifting all the makeup off. Lifting it all off. I'm gonna actually do my makeup on this side with exactly how I did that day, in terms of like prepping and everything, and then I'm gonna do this side with this cream. This serum, this is what I did. It says 2 to 3 drops, way too much, right? So I'm gonna put just the 2 drops and smooth this over. You've got to let this dry. So I'm even still going to like apply it in the right way. Very fluid, this bit. Got to let that dry. In the meantime, let's apply the eye cream on the other side, which is my usual one, which is my Drunk Elephant. And this is kind of like a very thick, balmy type of eye cream. And I'm just going to apply this. Let that settle in. Now this one takes a while to dry, right? You've got to give it that time. I feel like that's kind of dry now. So I'm now going to go in with the cream that I went in with, which is the Barbara Sturm Super Anti-Aging Eye Cream. Going to get a little bit of that. Gonna pat this on. And I even went onto the website to check. Now, can you see all this, what's happening now? And I remember this happening when I was putting it on, and I was like, oh, it's just probably meant to be like that. So even when you leave the serum to dry, the cream kind of like almost, I don't know how to explain this, but it kind of like liquefies the serum again, even when it's dried up and you've applied this cream over. It kind of like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, the serum's not dry, but it is dry because I let it dry. Fine, it feels great on the skin, right? And this one, I would say the difference is that this one feels a lot more kind of fluid and like I have product on my skin. This is a bit more kind of balmy and it's just kind of melted into the skin. So, okay, now the next thing that I did, I moved in with my concealer. Now, as you already know, I am the type of person that always, you know, always say this on my channel, let your products settle into the skin before moving on to the next step. So I definitely didn't that day kind of like go immediately into the next step. Now, these products from Dr. Stem are very expensive, which is why I cannot bring myself not to give it a chance, right? The Stem Super Anti-Aging Eye Serum is $300 and the Stem Super Anti-Aging Cream is $210. $510 for eye creams. I don't think I could bring myself to spend that amount on eye creams, but I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to use this every night because I still want to see, you know, how does it feel? How does it work? Is there a good difference in my skin? Like, I'll be honest, even after applying both of those eye creams, I know you don't get immediate results from eye creams, but I really do like the immediate result of this. The side that I've used the Stem eye cream. It looks less kind of dark, it's less pronounced. And then here I feel like it's a lot darker. Bear in mind, I do have a vein here which tends to kind of help to complete that dark circle, unfortunately. I still prefer the look of this, you know, and it feels like very hydrated. Anyway, I think I've given it more than enough time now. I'm going to move on to the next step. When this happened to me that day, I felt like the product, the eye cream started like it just was it just didn't want to sit on my skin, so it was lifting everything on top of it. Whereas when I've used this, I have never had that problem. So anyway, it could be down to the texture, it could be down to the fact that it's just one balmy product as opposed to a serum. To be honest, we use serums under moisturizer, you know. I've not had that issue, so I'm guessing it's down to the fact that the area there, the skin is so thin compared to anywhere else on the body. So, you know, it's harder to kind of like, you know, for that product to sit there and stay there. So now we are going to move on. I'm going to do what I did that day. I applied my concealer. I even used my Tarte Shape Tape, guys. So, you know, I knew I wanted my makeup to last. This is what I do if I'm going to the beach. So let me just apply this as normal. Okay, it's gone on fine, which it did that day too. My makeup applied like fine. There was no difference. My skin didn't even feel different, you know. I'm going to just add whatever's left on my sponge to my eyelids. There you go. Right, let's get my foundation. I'm using my Lancome Ultra Wear. This is in the shade 420W. That's what I used that day as well. And honestly, everywhere else on my face, the foundation was fine. It was just the under eye area that was playing up. So I'm going to pat this on as I usually do. Now, as always, I got rid of my creases on my under eye with the sponge, and then I went in with my powder and pressed it in to the under eye area. I put the powder everywhere else. I got my brush, dusted the powder off. Then I got my setting brush from Real Techniques and I dusted off the powder from the under eye. And honestly, even at this point, I didn't notice anything different. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, this doesn't sit on the makeup doesn't sit over this eye cream well, like, or my under eye isn't setting the way that it usually does. I didn't notice anything like that. Now, while we're waiting for that to settle down, I'm going to finish off the rest of my face. I'm just going to add some bronzer. I'm using my Ella Lou's Velveteen Queen powder bronzer in Past the Crown. Just going to apply this on my cheekbones. Let's just add a little bit of nose contour. Okay, just a little bit of lip liner. And I'm going to use my Nude Sticks Hydropeptide Lip Butter in Candy Kiss. And let me just add a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes. Okay, I'm going to use my Lancome blush in 03, and this is just like a nice light coral colour, so it's not overly bright. It's very natural, but I remember using this that day. Okay, so that was my makeup done. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be at a beach today, so I really want to show you kind of what happens when, like, say this makeup on the under eye area becomes a little bit wet. Now, obviously, I wasn't kind of throwing water on my face. I haven't done this test before, so this is really for us to see as well. But what I do know is what happened to this side of the face when I was at the beach, and it wasn't good at all. Like, literally, it's face. It was so bad. It looked so bad. I was just so embarrassed. But anyway, I've got my sponge. This has got water on my sponge. And I'm just pressing it on my under eye here, right? And I'm also doing it here. So all I've done, got a damp sponge and I'm pressing it on both sides. Okay, so this is a slow result. So I have pressed this same sponge on either side, and this just goes to show what happened to me that day. That sponge was not drenched with water, it was damp. That's it. It's the same kind of dampness that you would use on your sponge if you're using a damp sponge for your foundation, right? For your foundation application. It's not like drenched in water. Already, I can see the difference it's made to this side. I hope we can zoom in right now so that you guys can really see what it's done. This side, still the same. If anything, it just doesn't look as powdery, right? Because I just applied the powder a little while ago. This side is separating and patchy. I'm gonna get a mirror so I can really see. Yeah, I can already see this is beginning to do what was happening that day. This is nothing. It was so bad. So what my point is, and as I'm talking, I'm sure this is going to get worse and worse. What you want to make sure that you do is try to avoid liquid products around the eye area. And you can use creams, you can use like balmy products, because it kind of like, you would think that the serum soaks into the skin, but it really depends on the type of serum and also whether your skin is used to it. Like my skin is just, as I'm smiling, I can see this actually getting worse. Like, yeah, the makeup is separating on this under eye, and actually what I'll do in a bit is use a sponge to try and correct it and show you what happened. Hopefully the same thing will happen so that, you know, you can see exactly what happened to me that day, although it was on another level. Because imagine I'm adding water on top. That day I was sweating because it was so hot, so it's coming from inside, and it was just horrendous what happened. But you really want to think about what texture products, consistency of the products that you are using underneath your makeup, especially when it comes to the eye area. The skin is so thin around that area, so you really want to make sure you're not piling on a whole load of products. Realistically, I should have known better. I don't know what came over me, to be honest. I used a serum, something drastically different. I don't usually use an eye serum. I used it that day and it was just, it completely changed the way my makeup sat, and I really don't want this to happen to you. So think about what you're using underneath your makeup. Stick to simple products, right? Simple consistencies. Don't layer up too much, because layering is fine in the evenings because you're not necessarily going to be putting makeup on. In the morning, when you're doing your morning skincare routine, I would highly recommend streamlining your skincare routine so that you don't have to pile on so many products. Then in turn, it affects the way your makeup actually sits on your face, because it makes a huge difference. I always hear these problems that people have, like such as, why does my foundation crease? Why does my concealer crease on my under eyes? Why does my foundation crack during the day? Why does it start separating? Why does my foundation oxidize? And people just assume because it's happening to that product, the foundation or the concealer, they assume it's the foundation or concealer that is wrong. And actually what it could be is how you've prepped your skin underneath. So don't always turn immediately to the product that seems to be kind of looking disastrous on the face. Don't just assume because it's my foundation that's creasing, it's got to be my foundation that's wrong. It could be everything you've done prior to that. That's why prepping your skin in the correct way prior to makeup application is so important. Already this looks darker, already. So let me get a sponge so I can show you. I'm going to get my Real Technique sponge. It's the most similar to the mini sponge that I used that day. I'm actually going to use the side which is not damp, because that's what my sponge was like on that day. Okay, there you go. Didn't I tell you? Look at that. That's basically what happened, but probably on a worse level that day. It's just, I actually can't believe it. that is, I was in shock that day. I was like, what the hell? How is this happening to me? Like, that is literally what happened. So now, you know, I know it wasn't just me. It wasn't anything else. It genuinely was this. It was the layering of the products and the type of consistency that clearly didn't sit underneath makeup. Look, if you don't wear a lot of makeup and you are super natural and you don't set or bake your under eyes, this is going to be fine on you. Go ahead, use it. It's going to be fine to apply underneath makeup because you're probably not using a lot of makeup anyway. But realistically, if you do set your under eyes and you bake or you apply any kind of powder or concealer which is lightly thicker on your under eyes, this isn't going to sit well. So think about what you're using. I really do hope that this has helped you. Hopefully you know what not to do now, and this has saved you from a very embarrassing moment like I had. So if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.